Cleetus McFarland came to Michigan with one big chance to prove he was more than a YouTube name in a race car. Then he shocked the garage by winning the ARCA pole. But the same track that gave him that moment also gave him damage, pressure, a Truck Series spin, and a hard lesson about NASCAR speed. This is the story of how Cleetus McFarland went from pole to trouble at Michigan. Michigan did not give him one clean headline. It gave him speed, hope, trouble, and a clear picture of where he stands right now. Michigan International Speedway is a 2-mile oval. The corners are long, the speeds are high, and the air around the cars matters a lot. At a track like this, a driver cannot fake comfort for long. If the car gets light, if the line closes, or if the driver reacts too late, the wall can come fast. That is why the weekend started with a warning. Before the ARCA race, Cleetus was in the number 30 Rhett Jones racing car. In practice, he made contact with the wall on his first lap. It was not a race-ending hit. The car kept going, but it showed how sharp Michigan can be. Then qualifying changed everything. Cleetus went out and put down a 38, 987-second lap. That lap was fast enough to win the Sioux Chief PowerPex pole for the ARCA Menards Series Henry Ford Health 200. He beat Jake Bowman by only 0.025 seconds. That gap is tiny, but in racing, tiny gaps can change the whole story. Just like that, Cleetus was not the fun outside name anymore. He was the man starting first. He had clean air. He had the camera on him. He had the field behind him. And he had a chance to prove that his NASCAR climb was not just about attention. Remember this moment, because this is where the title begins. He had the pole. But Michigan was not done with him. When the race started, Cleetus did what a pole sitter must do. He led the early laps. That mattered because it proved the lap in qualifying was not just luck. He had enough speed to stay out front. For a short time, the whole story looked perfect. Fans saw a driver who had brushed the wall in practice, then came back and led at a big track. That gave his supporters proof and his critics something to think about. But a race is not won in the first few laps. Once the field settled in, the hard part began. Michigan is wide, but wide does not mean easy. Cars move around. The draft pulls them forward. Side air pushes them around. Drivers try to take small holes before they close. And when the field gets tight, one wrong move can ruin a strong day. Cleetus started slipping back. He was still in the fight, but the clean air was gone. Now he had to race in traffic. Running one fast lap is one thing. Holding your line with cars around you is another. Knowing when to lift, when to push, and when to leave space is what turns speed into results. Then came the moment that changed the ARCA race. Cleetus got into a 3-wide battle with Thomas Annunziata. Contact came as Cleetus moved down. The caution came out, his number 30 car had damage. And soon after that, rain made the situation even worse for him. The Henry Ford Health 200 was scheduled for 100 laps. It ended after 57 laps because of rain. Gio Ruggiero won the race. Cleetus, the driver who had started on the pole, finished 14th. That is the first hard turn in the story. He started first. He led early. He had the strongest headline in his hand. But he left the ARCA race with damage and a 14th place finish. This is why Michigan was so important. It did not just show his speed. It showed the next problem he must solve. Cleetus can find pace. He can make a fast lap. He can grab attention. But in NASCAR, the race keeps asking questions. Can you protect track position? Can you survive 3-wide traffic? Can you finish the job? At Michigan, the answer was not simple. He proved something. Then he lost something. That is the rehook. Because the weekend was not over, the next test came in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Same track, bigger challenge, stronger field, less room for a mistake. This time, Cleetus was not starting first. He was starting 29th in the number 4 Nice Motorsports Chevrolet. From the pole, a driver can breathe for a few laps. From 29th, every restart is crowded. Every truck ahead is moving air. Every lane can close before the driver expects it, and Cleetus already knew how fast a truck race could go wrong. Earlier in the season at Daytona, his Truck Series debut ended after only 6 laps. That meant he did not get the long race experience he needed. Michigan gave him another chance. The goal was not to win. The goal was to run laps, feel the truck, learn the air, and bring it home. But Michigan tested him right away. On the first lap, he got loose under another truck. That could have ended his day early. A slide at Michigan speed can become a wall hit in a second. But this time, he saved it enough to keep going. That was the first sign the weekend had changed. He was not perfect. He was not fully clean. But he was still in the race. Stage 1 ended with Cleetus in 27th. Stage 2 ended with him in 24th. Those numbers do not sound huge, but they matter when you compare them to Daytona. At Daytona, he barely got started. At Michigan, he was still turning laps. He was still learning. He was still in the fight. Then came the moment everyone saw. Cleetus got loose off turn 2. The truck spun. The caution came out. For a second, it looked like Michigan had finally caught him. A truck spinning at that speed can hit hard. It can end the race before the driver can even react. But Cleetus kept it off the wall. That save matters. It was not a win. It was not a top 10. It was not a highlight that gives him a trophy. But for his growth as a driver, it mattered a lot. At Daytona, trouble ended his race in 6 laps. At Michigan, trouble came again. But this time, he kept the truck alive and kept racing. That is progress. And this is where the story gets more honest. Some fans want to call Cleetus a real threat right now. Some critics want to say he is only there because he is famous. Michigan showed that both views are too simple. He has real speed. A driver does not win an ARCA pole at Michigan by accident. He led early because the car had pace and he used it. But he also has real gaps. Traffic, dirty air, and race decisions still cost him. The truck spin showed that the learning curve is still steep. Both things are true. That is why this weekend worked so well as a racing story. First, Michigan gave him the high. He won the ARCA pole and led early laps. Then Michigan gave him the hit. Contact, damage, rain, and 14th place took away the perfect ending. Then Michigan gave him one more chance. In the truck race, he spun, saved it, and finished. Cleetus completed all 125 laps in the truck race. He finished 25th on the lead lap. Corey Heim won the race, and Caden Honeycutt finished second. Cleetus was not fighting those drivers for the win. That was not the point of his day. The point was that he stayed in the race long enough to learn from it. That is what he did, and there was more pressure on him than most drivers had. Cleetus was not only racing, he served as Grand Marshal for the truck race and gave the command before getting into the number 4 truck. That is a rare kind of spotlight. Most drivers only have to race. Cleetus had to perform in front of the crowd, then climb in and prove he could handle the same track that had already hurt his ARCA result. Every camera was waiting. Every mistake would spread fast. Every save would be judged. For Cleetus, that pressure became another lesson. Michigan showed how hard this NASCAR climb really is for Cleetus. One moment, he was on the ARCA pole. The next, he was in trouble. He led laps, took damage, spun in the truck race, and still found a way to finish. That is why people keep watching him. Cleetus did not leave Michigan with a win. He did not get a perfect finish, but he also did not leave empty. He left with a pole, laps led, a damaged ARCA car, and a full truck race completed. Now the question is simple: was Michigan just a wild weekend? Or is Cleetus getting closer to becoming a serious NASCAR driver?